Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and here I am in the smoky Okanagan. Unfortunately, you may not be able to see it, but anyway, Kelowna is straight ahead there, and you can, if you zoom in a little bit, maybe I can zoom in here. Can I zoom in? Can you see the bridge over there? Bridge is over there. Kelowna City Center just to the right there. Anyway, they're getting the fires more or less under control, I think. This is in an area called Wilden. No, not Wilden. Kettle Valley. Setting up above the lake in what we call Upper Mission. Really nice high-end area. $1 million and more houses here for sure. 2 million, some of them, maybe even more. Nice area. I've been in this house before. Been a couple of years. Apparently she couldn't get a hold of us, I think, or mistook us for that other guy, the Oxy Fresh, and wasn't happy at all with the job. And so we're back again to deal with our carpet. But anyway, it's coming along nicely. And this is a polyester. It's, I think, 6 years old or so. This area up here is actually in really good shape, pretty much. So I'm doing a single step up here. Downstairs I did a master bedroom, and it was a lot more soil. They got a husky shepherd cross dog, really lovely guy. And but anyway, he'd been lying around on things and getting them oily. It doesn't look like he gets up here at all, I don't think. So let's clean a carpet. Oh, we got bad power here. It's weird how that works. So I just have to find another outlet. Oh, one right here. It's only pulling 9 amps, but once in a while, that happens. Let's see what happens this time. No problem. Weird how that works. Anyway. So let's talk a little bit about the rotary machine. Again, it's interesting that I've been carpet cleaning since I was 14 years old. So 50 years ago, first time I cleaned a carpet. And over the years, I'm one of the very rare people who's actually used every method there is. And when I say every method, I mean lawn shower dry foam, house dry powder, which is also CRB, hot water extraction, both portable and truck mount, rotary shampooing, pad cleaning like what I'm doing right now, orbital pad cleaning, OP cleaning, and the roto wash type, I guess we call that mist and brush, I guess. Am I missing anything? Done them all. I started my channel, I think around 10 years ago. And I've always said, right from the very beginning, that I thought that the rotary machine, with the right attachments, the right chemistry, the right technique, was overall the best methodology for, at least for residential carpet cleaning anyway. And I've been saying that again and again and again. And then, what was it, about 15 years ago, maybe a bit less? When was it, 2000? And early 2000s, I guess, was when the OP machines really started to come on. Late 90s, early 2000s, OP machines started to kind of come on the radar, and all of a sudden, everybody was saying, "Oh, rotary's no good. You gotta go to the OP, and rotary is old-fashioned and doesn't clean properly," and on it went. And I was willing to consider that possibility, and I bought myself my first OP, a couple of OP machines actually. and used them, tried them out, explored their potential, and my conclusion was that OP is a good machine, good system, but doesn't have advantages, at least for residential. It just simply doesn't. It's just not quite the right answer, in my opinion, in my experience. My experience isn't a theory, and it's not based on what somebody else has told me, but rather my actual hands-on experience and owning these machines, etc. And it's kind of interesting because over the years I have continually stated that I think the Rotary is a better choice for many reasons. I've stated that feeding from the tank is a better choice than pre-spraying for lots of reasons. And if you've been watching my videos for years, you'll know I've said this and I've explained myself many times. And I've managed to convert some guys. And those guys out there who were watching this video will know who I'm talking about. Some of you guys, and you get it, that I'm not saying it's black and white kind of a scenario, that I'm speaking in absolutes, but more of a subjective. It's really down to your own personal choice in a lot of ways, but to simply state that, taking a machine, for example, like the Challenger, which is a machine that I also have, I recently picked one up, and saying it's the best machine there is, and pre-spraying the carpet ahead of time is a better way to go and all that, and then not actually ever done that is use a Rotary and a tank on the Rotary, and then stating that your Challenger system is a better way to go, but not actually having experienced it, well, you're not really being honest in representing the industry by saying that. And it's ironic that there's been one individual who has been constantly harping about the Challenger being the better machine, etc., and has said really dumb things about rotaries, including that Rotary only cleans the fiber from one side, which is absolutely not true. I mean, as you go over the carpet, obviously this thing's turning 360 degrees. The only place where you're doing only one side is along the edges, and that almost never matters anyway, nor can you even tell the difference. And what was the other thing now? That the Rotary is very difficult to control, and you could easily go through a wall. Well, it's kind of like riding a bike. First time you go to ride a bike, you probably wiped out. But within a few minutes, you got the hang of it, and away you went, and it was never a problem from then on. And that's basically the same way as using a Rotary. I mean, if you hand a Rotary to somebody who's never used one and say, pull the trigger and see what happens, it could be quite funny. But when you explain to them exactly how this works, balance it, and then, small movements to make it go left and right, and then within a few minutes, they've got it. And it's like riding a bike. Once you got it, you got it. And it's a breeze, and it's simple, and it's easy, and it's effortless. And then the other thing was, I remember him saying once that Rotaries weigh 140 pounds, and they're too heavy. Like, what Rotary weighs 140 pounds? The only machines out there that are weigh that much are the ones they use for stone grinding. And they take a very powerful Rotary, and they put weights on them, and they are specifically made for grinding stone floors and concrete, etc. It's not your normal Rotary. I mean, most Rotaries weigh under 100 pounds. They weigh usually between 80 to 110 pounds. And this machine weighs about 76 without the tank. And even with a couple of gallons of water in it, it still barely makes 100 pounds. So, there's misinformation. And to be critical of a machine and a system without actually ever having used it is ridiculous. And oh, the irony, because now this particular individual who was promoting and a dealer for a machine had a falling out and decided he was going to give Rotary a try after all. And what do you know? Now we're hearing from him apparently that he likes the Rotary, finds it easier, more relaxing apparently, less effort, and cleans better. Well, there's some of us out here in the cleaning world that have been saying this for years. So, it's almost comical to hear this or to see this happening, that somebody that was so critical of the Rotary for so many years turns out had never actually used a Rotary. And then finally, when he gets a Rotary in his hands, the light dawns, and all of a sudden he's saying, oh, by the way, the Rotary is a fine machine, a fine method. It just, you can't make this up. It's just comical. But anyway, I'm glad that, people are seeing and understanding the Rotary, the value of the Rotary, and the simplicity of it, and the ease of which it is to operate and everything. I've had my thoughts about different pieces of equipment, but I've never said, for example, the Trinity machine, OP machine. There's lots of people that like it. Not everybody does. I know that there are some that have had negative perspectives on it, and I've mentioned that, but I have said I've never used it, so I don't really have a, judgment of it. How can I say if I haven't used it? I don't have any desire to, but if one came along and it was a good price, a used one, I'd almost certainly pick it up. Because I'd like to mess around with one for sure, but I'm not going to say it's a bad cleaning system. I'm not going to say things about it that aren't true. That's just very disingenuous. I think it's probably a great machine. A lot of people love them, and they have earned their right to be considered one of the best, if not the best, machine out there. But it's not always the right machine, in my opinion, for a residential, because again, you're looking at an OP machine which doesn't move with the simplicity and the ease that a Rotary does. But that's a subjective opinion, although it's based on my experience. But that's my thoughts about that. I just find it just amusing, really, to see. It's almost like soap opera, I have been steadily, consistently, and repeatedly saying I think the Rotary is the better option certainly for residential carpet cleaning. And if a person wants to get into carpet cleaning, I say the very first machine you should get is a Rotary. Yes, you should get an OP as well. Certainly a wheels down OP if you're doing a lot of commercial work. Definitely has its advantages there. I don't think the wheels up OPs are a good option either way. I used my Challenger a few times on a few residential jobs in the last few weeks, and I put the videos up, and it worked fine. It just takes a lot more effort to maneuver it, and it vibrates. It's not that it's what am I saying now? It doesn't have a vibration problem. It's just that it's an OP, so they do have that inherent vibration because that's how they work. Whereas the Rotary is so smooth, and I'm not going to have anybody down in the floor below me complaining that there's a weird hammering noise going on in the suite above when I'm using my Rotary, because it's just so smooth and so quiet and so simple and easy, and I like simple and easy. I like to work smart and not hard. And I think that the Rotary is I absolutely, I'm convinced it's just the better way to go for most situations you run into. in residential carpet cleaning. Oh, one more thing. If you're going to use a 13-inch rotary, which is what I started with 28 years ago, that's a great choice. It would limit you in speed because obviously it's covering a smaller footprint. But the weight of the machine, which is obviously considerably less than this machine, which is around 80 pounds or so, it's considerably less. I think they're around 30, 40 pounds, maybe 50 if that. And, you know, you think, well, that's a lot less weight. Well, yes, it is less weight, but calculate it out based on the footprint of the actual pad driver that you've got on the floor, and you will discover that the weight per square inch of a 13-inch machine is almost identical to the weight per square inch of a 17-inch machine, because of the footprint of the 13-inch machine is way smaller than the 17-inch machine. So the weight is distributed per square inch. So it's not the overall weight that's your concern, rather the weight per square inch of the contact area on the carpet. So bear that in mind when someone tells you that the 13-inch is too light. It's like the Oric. Oric also is a smaller, lighter machine, whether 35 or 40 pounds. But the actual weight per square inch that it's putting on the floor is actually pretty darn similar to a 17-inch machine, just a little bit less. So there's something to consider. Sometimes it's things that are so obvious when you think about it. It's like, wow. It's like when somebody tells you, I remember somebody, when I first heard somebody saying the rotary only cleans in one direction, it's like, what? Or one side of the fiber. It's like, how could you not see what's happening here? It is cleaning every side of the fiber as you go back and forth over the carpet fiber. Of course it is coming at it from every direction, because there's 360 degrees to the circle that's turning on the carpet in the planetary motion. Anyway, sometimes the simplest things are the hardest to understand, I guess. So anyway, we're pretty much done up here. I'll work my way back to the beginning and we'll take a look at the pad in a sec. And then I have 2 sets of steps to do, and then a grooming, and I'll be done. I did already some furniture, a little bit of front of the couch, 2 couches, around a bed frame. I did an area rug and the master bedroom and a closet down below me. And so after I do this, I got 2 sets of steps, and then the grooming, and that'll be my day. About $1,000 day, so that's not bad. Okay, let's have a look at the pad. So that's black, and that's pretty typical of polyester. It doesn't look bad, but it really holds on to that. They just get black, but it hides it. So I'm going to do the B side and go over it all again with the B side. So anyway, I'll let you go. I won't be videoing that. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a good day.